Hi guys, it's Iain Myles here from Kamalifestyles, and so today I'm going to be talking to you about the steps needed in order to overcome approach anxiety. Now these points are actually covered in my new book. Now in case you missed the memo, my new book's called Social Anxiety, and in this very book I talk about how to manage and how to cure approach anxiety when approaching gorgeous women. Now guys, you can grab yourself a copy of my new ebook right now by clicking on the link in the video description right down below, or by clicking on a card right above. So anyway, let's get talking about approach anxiety. So approach anxiety is a man's greatest enemy, and as a result it can have adverse effects on a person's self-esteem and confidence. That is, if it's not properly understood. Now it may seem like a small minor thing, but trust me, it is not. Now imagine having overwhelming feelings and thoughts that clearly show you that you stand to yield no positive results whenever you approach a woman. Now, come to think of it, it can be very disheartening when such feelings come from your core. I mean, look, it is much easier to deal with when this is someone else's perception of you, as opposed to it being a perception of yourself. So whichever is the case, however, it is probably the worst thing that any man has to go through, yet very many struggle with it. Now, what if I told you that in this brand new book that I've just released, it will guide you through all these things related to approach anxiety? So myself and the crew at Kamalifestyles, we decided to come up with this book as a result of public demand. We've had a large number of clients and a large number of our followers on our various social media platforms who have actually reached out and are actually seeking out help with approach anxiety and on ways to overcome it. Well, since we're all about our clients' needs, we have decided to design an exclusive ebook to address this topic holistically in the form of my social anxiety book. Now imagine being able to walk up to a girl that you like, say at a bar, and striking up a conversation and taking her home. Better still, imagine being able to seize any moment that you get to approach any woman romantically, and without even preparing, without even doubting yourself, or even without hesitating, and doing it so flawlessly such that it becomes second nature to you. Well, with my book, such attributes will become second nature to you. Now your picking up girls' game will be so smooth, so I can assure you, and you're going to become such a smooth operator, if you know what I mean. Now you might be wondering why I am so confident that my new book will change things up for you. Well, you see, first of all, it is because we have a known record of having done it before. And it is not the first time that the crew at Kamalifestyles and myself have known to be tackling the problem of approach anxiety. Now you see, we have done it several times before with very high success rates. So you can check it out on our website, and you can also check out our testimonials there too. And the second reason why I have so much confidence in the newly released approach anxiety ebook is the fact that its developer, myself, is our dating and relationship expert, and you see, my track record of success stories is overwhelming. And look, last but not least, I have so much faith in the content of this book because it will be addressing approach anxiety from its very basics and its core. And these will include areas like what is approach anxiety, why does it manifest, and why it makes no sense to burden yourself with it, and how to go about overcoming it. With that said, here is a sneak peek of the things that will be conclusively discussed. What is approach anxiety? Here you will get an exclusive and a detailed understanding of what this term truly means. Now it is mainly because the world is interpreted to mean different things to different people. However, going through the very basics will help you to gain a much deeper understanding of the term, and it will help to guide you towards actually figuring out whether you struggle with what you struggle with is approach anxiety. So once you really understand what it means and whether it is what you are actually struggling with, the next task will be figuring out why it manifests. It goes to show that anxiety when approaching women has really different underlying factors from each of us. So overcoming it therefore is more or less dependent on addressing the kind of underlying factors, and you see, amongst other measures, to really overcome it entirely. And the third thing that the book will guide you through is the actual reasoning to find out whether it makes any sense to have anxiety when approaching girls. Now, one thing you will realize is that approach anxiety may actually result from low self-esteem. it could result from a lack of confidence or even from past experiences. I mean, look, women out there want to meet you, and that is more than enough reason to kind of psych yourself up for a fun day at the club, at a bar, at a gym, or even at any other social event for that matter. Now, that is just one of the many reasons that you'll find for not giving approach anxiety so much power over you. And actually, past this point, you will then be taken through the steps to help reinforce the fact that approach anxiety is pointless. Now, here you will have exposure to some of the ways and some of the levels through which you can successfully overcome approach anxiety. Now, you see, some of the things that you will learn here in a nutshell include the following. How to deal with your negative thought patterns. Now, these are more often than not one's undoing. Now, you see, learning to deal with defeating thoughts like she's out of my league, or the pretty woman will brush you off, or what will happen if I get rejected, or such girls do not notice me. It is one place where it all starts, and you really need to address it. And secondly, you will have a view of how to work on the things that put you into that very position. Now, for instance, say that your anxiety results from not knowing what to say when you approach women. Or you see, one of the criticisms that you've gotten is that you don't say the right things. Now, you will then be guided on how you should address that. In particular, you'll find out the root cause, which will result in treating the anxiety. And the same really applies to other factors like the lack of confidence and low self-esteem. And the third thing that you'll get insight on is how to align yourself with what works for you. So here you will learn about preferences. That is, the type of women that you feel are your type. Now, acquiring knowledge on this will help you to know the right place to meet the right kind of women that you want. Now, as a result, approach anxiety will be a non-issue as you will be in your zone. Now, for instance, if club girls are not your type, you will be anxious approaching them. Fourth, you will learn that ditching the perfectionist mentality really helps overcome a great deal of approach anxiety. Now, the women that you're approaching are not perfect, and you shouldn't be too. And you will learn how to avoid having a perception of how your encounter should go. Now, last but not least, you will learn how to be realistic. Now, you might really want to have a connection with a certain woman, but the feeling is not really mutual from her end. So being practical and accepting things for what they are will help save yourself a great deal of anxiety by not forcing things upon you. So you need to kind of equally be wanted, don't you think? Anyway, this is just an overview of what you should expect from my social anxiety book. Now, as you can see, it will be an eye-opener for anyone struggling with approach anxiety. So as I've mentioned before, take that leap of faith and go and grab yourself a copy of my new book today. Now guys, you can get yourself a copy by clicking on the link in the video description right down below, or by clicking on the card right above. Now guys, I have many more videos for you coming really soon, so do stay tuned on KamaTV. Now, I'm Iain Myles, and I'll see you next time.